First up, actually, I think Andy, because you punch your lights out, you got to get some of these.
Oh, you got them, dude. Oh, I got to get some of those, son. Yeah, you got to wear those, bro.
What do you got, dude?
Dang, son. That's what I'm wearing for the episode today. Right now. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I don't know if I like the white ones here. Maybe I like the yellow ones here.
Oh yeah. Hey, I like that, dude. I like that.
Plug, wait, hang on a second. Hey, wait, one more.
Hey, hold on. I got the Budo.
Hello, welcome to Bolt Bros. We're the podcast where we talk about the Los Angeles Chargers and their opponents. My name's James. I'm here with my two bros, Kyle and Andy. Let's get into it. Right. Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Yeah.
So today's episode, we're going to be talking about players that have met with the Chargers after the Combine. So this is meetings with them, virtual meetings, private workouts, and such. We have a few thoughts to talk about these players today that they've met with so far. We also have, actually, just to announce to you guys, we have a podcast live for the first round draft on the 28th.
Yes.
So that's going to be pretty fun to be able to engage with you guys and some of our followers here. On top of that, we're currently uploading videos on players that could be our first round pick on our social media. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So keep an eye out for that. Follow us on those socials.
Yep.
And so you guys can learn a little bit more about some of these draft picks that could drop to us in the first round. So, but let's get back to the subject of what we're here to talk about, the players that the Chargers have talked about after the Combine.
Hey, Andy, are you okay, though? What's going on with your eye there, right there?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got punched in the eye, dude. I'm an active individual, bro.
Yeah?
No big deal.
Was it an escaped gorilla from the zoo or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
man, you need some. Are you using some Newt? Is that what was that stuff from RoboCop?
Nuke. I got the nuke. Well, you know what? You need some eye protection. Here you go. I got something good for you right there.
Oh yeah. Bolt Bros gear. What's up, yo?
Bolt Bros shit.
Oh, wow. Where did we get that gear from there, Kyle? What's up with that?
You know what? Well, hold on a sec. I gotta see a little bit better. Hang on a sec here.
Oh, shoot.
Got yellow? Got the yellow.
Baby. wait. You don't like the yellow rims? Okay, so that's cool. I got you. I got the powder blue rims.
Powder blue, right, baby.
It's in the sporting goods section, baby.
You can match whatever jersey you're rocking with the shades, dude.
Right.
Legit.
They got the white pants on. You got the white shades on. They got the yellow pants. You got the yellow shades. I got you, baby.
Oh, I like it.
There you go.
You got them stunner shades on.
There you go. Yeah.
Look at that, dude.
But yeah, no. So we got some merch now. You can get them on Zazzle, and we'll drop the link down below. And also we'll put it on our master link at beacons.ai/boltbros. But you know what? I was even thinking, we can have a little bit of a giveaway here. I got a whole box full of these things right now. We get like 1,000 likes. You know what? Whoever likes this video and subscribes, we'll give them out there,
We'll hook you up.
We'll hook you up, and we'll also do the same thing, giveaway for Instagram and TikTok. That's about it. That's our thing. So
I like it. I like that shameless plug.
Hey, I ain't tripping. I think I'm gonna stick with the blues. Actually,
hey, you look good. Stick with the blues. Blue looks good with your shirt, dude. Looks good with your shirt.
Yeah. Well, we are going to talk about a bunch of players that might be so bright that we need some shades because they are shining.
Yeah,
for sure.
Picked.
I wish I could reach through and give this to you, bros, right now. There you go.
Hook it up.
There you go. That's one for you too, man. Yeah.
I like it.
Whatever. We're just goofing off. Yeah. So.
Yeah, goofing.
Yeah. I'll hit you guys up with a case too, though. So.
Show.
Okay.
Show.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of these players that we have met with. I'm going to kind of start out with some of the bigger players, obviously, because those are the guys that everybody's creating all this buzz from. But, obviously, Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU. You know, that was an interesting one because he met with Staley.
Yeah.
And Staley had conversation with him, kind of gave him some tips and everything. I think this is one of the first meetings that I've heard, and this was at LSU, that Brandon Staley was there, kind of having hands-on with him and everything like that. So that's kind of a wild idea to think that he could even fall for us at 17. I mean, what would that mean to the defense, adding a piece like that to our defense?
Holy moly.
Yeah. You know, I think
insanity.
My only question though is do we really need another cornerback, right? Like, I mean, you know, and I do know that the Chargers have gotten a little bit maybe jaded on Michael Davis, right? He's got a pretty big contract. You let him go, you can get some more youth, you know, as a third cornerback, but I don't know, man. I kind of look at him and go, okay, it makes sense. And I do know that, like, obviously in Brandon Staley's defense, cornerbacks are a premium, right? They're very important in the way that he manages it. So I can understand the conversation of getting a guy like Stingley, but I don't know. I just look at a right tackle or a defensive lineman as being a more important need right out of the gate. But you know, again, guys, this is what's so interesting about the draft. You just never know how it's going to play out, right? We could trade up, we could trade down. All these different scenarios are in play right now. So especially where we sit at 17, I think anything could really happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the crazy thing about it is like, you know, adding a piece like that, does that put Michael Davis at like cornerback 4 for us?
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
it would.
That's the crazy side of it. You throw him, that adds a depth piece to the whole cornerback squad.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? I mean, what's crazy too is that Charles Davis had on NFL.com his recent mock draft, and he says that we're going to get Charles Cross at 17, and I'm like, whoa, like,
holy moly, that would be
incredible. Yeah, if we had him as a right tackle, oh my gosh, our line is all pro at that point. Like,
exactly,
that would be ridiculous. But who knows? I mean, Brandon Staley seems to really like cornerbacks, and who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Pick 17 is such a crapshoot, so who knows? But
see, that's the thing though too, you know, because PFF, they rank Stingley as a top 3 cornerback for the draft, and I mean, really, they're banking off of his 2019 performance. Because apparently he was pretty much a lockdown cornerback over there. When he was playing, because that was about a 41% completion percentage versus him during that time. So he was able to like really just shut down like those receivers like by, you know, phenomenally. But then unfortunately he got a little injured, and then of course COVID happened. Yep. Which the interesting thing about that, when I'm doing the research on all this stuff, is that like the reason why this is such a deep draft is because we have a lot of players that were, you know, seniors like in 2020, but they stayed another year for 2021.
Yeah,
so
true.
Like there's a lot more players available. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's also going to be a ton more players undrafted that are going to be freaking hidden gems as well.
Very nice. Absolutely. Yes, exactly right. And that's why they need to do due diligence on this for sure.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I think it really will be interesting to see how it plays out. I kind of like the scenario of trading down and having maybe 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
But you got to wonder. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. I'm guys, again, one little shameless plug, right? We are doing a live first-round draft, so definitely check it out. It should be a lot of fun. You know, all teams, we want people there. We're going to be watching for everybody. We'll be really interested to see what everyone wants to, you know, see their team do. And let's have conversations about other people's teams as well, right? I mean, the NFL is very important. So, you know, we want to have conversations with all fans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Andy, did you see any other players that kind of are those higher end prospects, those buzz players that, you know, some Charger fans keep talking about? I mean, what are some other guys that we met with?
Yeah, Matt Arise is interesting. And it's funny because, man, you know, he's a kicker from San Diego State. That guy just has a leg, you know. But the funny thing is, like, I mean, I saw a mock draft. Someone said he might go 3rd or 4th. I'm like, what? For a kicker? Yeah. But I understand the conversation, right? I remember Pat McAfee making a comment, was this like 2 weeks ago maybe? He made a comment about you're only going to pick a kicker, a really good kicker or punter, if you have a good defense. Because what's the point?
Right.
What's the point of flipping the field if your defense is bad, right? Because you're not going to stop the other offense anyways. You may as well just hold the ball and keep going. And I think that's really what we saw a lot last year. That's why we went on 4th down so much last year, because our defense we had holes in it all over the place, right? So, but again, you get someone like Matt Ariza. He's an actual weapon, right? Yeah. He can pin the ball. He's got extreme leg. Hang time is ridiculous. I mean, do we use a 3rd round pick? I think that's a bit much. I think 4th at most, maybe a 5th. I don't know. Kickers are, they're great, but we already got good kickers as well too, right? Is he that much better than what we already have now? That's the way I look at it.
Right. And that's the thing that I kind of look at is I do feel like the Chargers are building to have more veterans in positions, not
exactly
positions.
Yes.
And so that's why we went after J.K. Scott, and we got him. Yep. A reliable guy, younger leg. Yep. We have Dustin Hopkins, who did fine for us for kicking field goals. It just seems like it would be a really odd pick for us to pick up.
Yeah, at this point now, for sure. It would be a really strange thing for us to get him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Really odd.
Would we do it? Sure, I guess, but I don't see the point, right? If he happens to slide to 5th or 6th, I can see them saying, "All right, let's get this guy," But I don't know, Anyways, so that's kind of my thought on him. I know a lot of people are high on him. I think a lot of people really like him, but I don't know.
Yep.
So very late round picks is my thought. Yeah. So.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Kyle, anybody else that you saw at all that's kind of a high up kind of pick that people have been chatting about?
Yeah, I noticed that they looked at Greg Dolkich. Is that how you say it? Dolkich.
Yeah, from UCLA.
Dolkich.
Yep.
So the C is silent.
Something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, because it's Dulcich. Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
So I looked a little bit into him, so PFF ranks him about 98th overall. Yeah. So that's probably top of the 3rd round, I would say. It's a tight end. I thought it was kind of interesting that they looked at him. Cool thing is he's a local boy. Went to UCLA. Yep. Pretty decent stats for. For a tight end, he's got he's 6'4", 243 pounds, so he's definitely got some good size to him. He puts out some solid numbers, and obviously a lot of things that he can do to improve the tight end position, and in the pros level, he can actually do a lot more. I don't know, I feel like he's kind of an athlete that, could still produce better if he lost a little bit of weight, maybe. I don't know. And then so that way he could just play as wide receiver as opposed to, a tight end. At least that's what PFF is actually saying, is that they feel like that, he could probably do just as well as a receiver as opposed to a tight end. And then he'd be able to get some good blocks in as a wide receiver as well. So,
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, though, this is the second time the Chargers have met with him. So, and I don't know if it's maybe they're just kind of focusing on local talent or whatnot, but
sure,
we seem to be kind of favoring a lot of UCLA kind of guys for some reason and meeting with them. So, and I don't know if it's because we have similar colors or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Local boy.
I like about it too.
Yeah, local boy. I don't know why they're not looking at USC players more than anything too, but
because USC sucks right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But it is an interesting thing that they're looking at him. When we have Gerald Everett, who just signed, who, if you look at Greg's stats and saying hey, he's got good hands, he could get some yak. That's one thing that Gerald Everett that I really liked about him is that he tries to get that extra effort after the catch. So, it's weird that they would even look at somebody like that after signing Gerald Everett. I would assume that the tight end position is pretty solidified at this point. So
yeah, we got Parham as well too.
And at the end of the day, it's
we got Parham. We got plenty of players, right? Again, I think this is kind of a unique position for the Chargers, right? Because I think we have 1 or 2 positions that we really need to have filled.
Yep.
And then the rest is just depth, right?
Right.
We got 10 picks, and again, we're talking more about depth. I mean, this is deep in the cuts, right? It'll be interesting to see where they play out. It'd be really interesting to see how many of these people that actually visited with the Chargers actually are picked by the Chargers.
Yeah.
So, and that's also why we're highlighting it. But I mean, he's a good guy, right? Obviously, there's some things he needs to work on. I think he can improve, and I think that's a good thing. But one guy that I liked, well, I remember him talking about Sean Jolly from Appalachian State, cornerback, another cornerback. Yeah. And it's funny to me, and I'm like, man, how many damn cornerbacks do we need at this point, right? I mean, right? I mean, they are literally, but I understand what they're doing, right? They're trying to get taller guys. I mean, of course, he's actually pretty shorter. He's only 175, 5'9".
Yeah.
But he's a lot like Asante Samuel. He really will be a day 3 pick. He'll be deep in the cuts. He'll be there for depth, probably play special teams initially. But,
sure.
Again, smaller school. But again, he's somebody that can step in for depth or maybe nickel packages, very heavy, defensive packages. He could come in and do better, right? I mean, again, Staley's defense needs good players out there. And when we don't have depth, we struggle, right?
Oh.
True.
Well, you always point at one game, and I always point at the Texan game. I think we talk about that dang near every episode. I mean, that was
exactly right.
A blatant showing of how bad our depth is. And that's
exactly correct.
And I mean, once again, Brandon Staley's looking at cornerbacks and wants more cornerbacks. And, like this guy's not going to be a first-round pick. Now, I mean, a lot of the players that we're going to talk about from this point on are kind of like late-round, possibly undrafted guys.
Or fifth, yes.
And these are the guys that the Chargers have met with, had a private workout with, met virtually with, at pro days kind of thing. So
exactly.
Who knows? I mean, you got to look at guys like J.C. Jackson was an undrafted dude. Well, we all know how well he played as a player over time. Like, diamond in the rough here.
Oh,
that's what we're digging through, and that's what I think Staley's just looking at here. And every coach and GM does the same type of thing. They want to do their due diligence on any players that think that could be a great system fit. So.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys also play a couple of different things too, where they're like playing special teams as well.
Yeah.
They're depth for a lot of different,
definitely utility players.
Exactly
for
correct.
A whole bunch of different positions for sure.
Exactly. Right. So that's something to definitely talk about for sure, right? So it's really interesting. So I like him. I think he's a good choice. We'll see, but he's definitely a deep in the cuts type of guy for sure.
Right.
Yeah, an interesting stat on them. He only allowed 21 catches on 40 passes, which doesn't sound like great, but he didn't give up a touchdown. And his longest reception was 33 yards. I mean, that's something worth looking at. And so, that's not a bad stat to look at. So
exactly.
So,
and and his overall his career, he's actually gave up or had 9 turnovers, 6 picks and 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's pretty good. If you can, kind of hone that skill a little bit more, man, get another turnover machine like J.C. Jackson out there. Holy smokes, dude. That'd be pretty freaking awesome.
Correct.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It's crazy. It's crazy to think. I mean, you never know where these talented guys could come from. I mean, we've had a lot of success of undrafted guys and guys that we have signed that are undrafted dudes that have played well. So, and been premier players. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And he's pretty quick. 4.5 40. Right, that's pretty damn fast. I mean, that's way faster than I can run. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah, dude.
I'll be pulling a hammy, dude.
I did pull a hammy.
You did
on that workout day, right on the beach. You remember that, Kyle?
Oh yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Yeah, we were trying to gear up and they kind of like work out a little bit, warm up for the what was it?
Pull the hammy right on the beach.
Yeah,
that was cool. Couldn't even do it.
It was a scout camp, training camp, and like Madden showed up for like the Chargers, and
that's right.
And the day before we were like, all right, let's get some laps in real quick, and then Andy just like pulled the hammy.
Pull the hammy. Couldn't even do it.
He's on the IR.
I'm getting old, dude.
Nope,
I'm getting old.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the IR.
That was embarrassing.
That's pretty bad. Bad. Guess it didn't go well with the speed test, so you sat out on that one.
I sat on all of it pretty much.
I got to do it though. Yeah. I'll throw my picture up on the screen right here. Yeah, it's like man, put me in the game, coach. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Switch it up. That's great.
I'm switching it up.
I'll go with the white now. All right, what we got here, James? What are we thinking?
So it's another tight end that they looked at. It was Armani Rogers from Ohio. Once again, it was an interesting thing that he met with them with the Chargers at UCLA's pro day too. So Once again, he's a small school, so they didn't have their own pro day, so he had to join some other pro day somewhere. Cool thing about him, he was a standout from the Shrine Bowl too. He was actually a quarterback originally at UNLV and then transferred to Ohio, kind of now switched to tight end after his career there. I mean, his UCLA pro day, 4.56 40, which is pretty fast for a dude that's going to try to be a tight end. Crazy.
And I like a guy like that. Like, to me, again, if the conversation's around depth, that guy can do a lot of things, right? Like, he has a lot of value. You could plug him in different places. Hey, try this, try that. He's kind of a Taysom Hill guy, right? He's a guy who can play tight end and play this kind of hybrid type of position. And he's obviously athletic, right? And he's a big guy too. So I think that kind of makes sense. See, again, we've talked about this before. This is a depth conversation, right? I like a guy that can wear many hats and have different places we can plug them into so they can be successful. That makes a big difference.
Right. I mean, you like to have those X factor type players, those players that can do multiple things. And, even to say if he is that Taysom Hill type player, you got to think with the connection to Joe Lombardi and the Saints offense where he came from. He knows that kind of player, and so he could figure that how to plug him into our offense. I mean, I'm kind of a big fan of not just keeping everything on Herbert and just keeping it one dimensional just with him. Herbert's a fantastic quarterback, but let's try to find ways to make things a little bit different. Change things up, throw the defense off a little bit. I think it's a good choice. Now, once again, is this a guy a day 3 pick? Is he an undrafted guy? I have no idea. But
guys, I'm excited to find out too, though. That's the thing, right? This whole draft is I'm so excited to see what we actually go with.
Yeah.
And how we're gonna round out the roster moving into this year. I mean, it's exciting. So.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see, even if all these meetings, if we actually do pick any of these guys up.
Yeah, right.
That's like, this is all hypothetical players that we're just digging into, thinking like, hey, how can they fit with us? Who knows? Who knows? So, Kyle, did you see any other guys out there too that we met with?
Yeah, I definitely did. What I was going to say though about Armani Rogers. I feel like he actually put up some fairly impressive numbers as a quarterback too. I mean, like I said, 100%. If we picked him up, he's not going to be quarterback. Let's just be perfectly clear. You ain't being quarterback for the Chargers. I'll tell you that much. But it'd be amazing to see some little fake out plays or whatever.
Trick plays.
Do a little like a freaking backwards pass for him to kind of open it up or whatever like that, and he can throw it out. Why not? That'd be pretty awesome.
Why not?
Yeah. So I don't know.
And actually last year, I don't know if you know this or not, Keenan Allen was actually listed as our third quarterback on the list.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That was kind of crazy, right? So, and that was just because we only brought 2 quarterbacks, right? So, So, anyways, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, Josh Rivas was to answer James's question. He was the guy that actually, I actually piqued a little interest in as well and looked into him. But he's, and good thing enough too. PFF actually ranks him on 191 on their big board. And so he's a guard for Kansas State Wildcats. And so he's 6'6" and 330 pounds. So he's got some good size, the height and and girth. I guess he's very girthy.
What you got, dude?
What you got, baby?
He's got the thighs and buys, baby. But you know what? He actually put up a lot of good numbers. Actually, he's very well ranked according to the PFF's analysis. Actually, his run block grade is at 81 out of 100.
That's
Pass
pretty
blocking is a 71 out of 100.
Yep.
His zone and gap is about 78. And so he played the left guard in college. So he was, up with the left tackle over there. So he got some good help from their best side there. But obviously if we picked him up, dude, he's going right. 100%. That be a huge for us,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that as well, too. I mean, he'll definitely be a later round pick for sure, but it'd be interesting to see, even if you were to move Filer over to right tackle, you can move him over to left tackle right next to Rashawn Slater on the inside, right? So, yeah, again, I think there's going to be – here's the thing, too. I will say this. Again, we're talking about depth. These are people that are not 100% ready to go to probably play day one. But at the end of the day, these are people that are definitely going to want to, like, make sure that they can contribute at some point, right? They're like a bit of a work in progress, a Trey Pipkins or a Storm Norton. But, and I think he never missed a game since 2018, which is pretty amazing as well, too. So, I mean, he's got a lot of durability, which is great.
Right. And, I mean, the thing is, though, he did play both right and left guard, too. So you always want those pieces that could kind of go back and forth.
Exactly correct.
So, and you want to have those kind of players. You don't want a one-dimensional player on your offensive line because injuries are going to happen. It's a 100% chance you're going to get injured in the NFL. So you need to have those guys on your team. One thing, too, he didn't even allow a sack all last season on 362 pass attempts, too. So
that's amazing. That's
pretty solid for us. I mean, you want a guy like that could be durable and then could actually do his job well. So that's big. That is big. So, good.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, anybody else that you saw too? I think we met with another. What's it? Appalachian State.
Jalen Virgil, wide receiver. He's super quick. 4.37. I mean, that's quick.
Yeah, that's fast.
And again, I think we have Jalen Guyton as kind of our deep threat guy, right? I would kind of argue Mike Williams is that way too. But another guy that could stretch the field is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think there's some things. He also does kickoff returns, which is pretty cool too. So I think he could be someone that we can keep going. He's an athletic dude. But I think he'll probably go a little down the list because I think there's some issues with his hands, right? I mean, he's super fast. I mean, just because you're fast doesn't mean you can catch a football under pressure, right? But I think a lot of people are looking at him for his raw talent. How does that really translate into the NFL, right? I mean, you look at some people like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is ridiculously fast, and he got his hands where they needed to be, right? He did not drop the ball. He made his plays, right? So I think, he could be a good person for us, but again, more depth, which I think is good in the wide receiver, arena.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be huge honestly, this guy would be great. He could be a solid return man, could potentially Devin Hester type of dude. I mean, 3 returned kickoffs for return for a touchdown. Dude. I mean, that's going to make the other teams like not kick full, they're probably going to kick all the way to the backfield every single time, which is kind of suck.
But punt returns though are different, right? Punt's different. So
true. Yeah. Well, it was kickoff returns for a touchdown.
Sure.
So I guess that is the the one downside because the NFL, it's always so boring to me when they just kick it all the way to the back of the end zone. But I want to see them returns, man. I want to see that. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that's interesting that I saw, the Athletic rated him as a 4 times as an athletic freak. So basically in the last 4 years, they basically said that he's an athletic freak all around. So last year it was 4th overall, and he was the top offensive player as an athletic freak too. So the dude's got some sort of athletics that he could add to a team in some manner. Like, how are they going to do that? Like, I would love to say maybe they could mix him up as some sort of Deebo Samuel kind of guy. And, maybe if you just get the ball in his hands, he could just take it to the house, Who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
true.
Yep.
He could be that guy that could just do something like that. I don't know. Right. But, once again, he might be a guy that's an undrafted guy. I mean, there's a lot of speed in this draft. Speed doesn't also equate to a really good football player, too. So.
Exactly correct. Yeah. Instincts are huge. Instincts are huge.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Big difference. So, one other guy that kind of popped up too was a defensive tackle. Actually, after all these guys that we've met with, we haven't met a defensive tackle. Oddly enough, Eric Johnson from Missouri State. So 6'4", 299 pound kind of guy. He wasn't invited to the Senior Bowl, but did have a pro day where he ran a 4.86, which is pretty good for a big guy. And then about 20 bench reps too. So. He's got some strength on him and everything. He was ranked at 13th overall in the defensive tackle draft. So that really probably will mean in this draft, he'd probably be a day 3 pick of some sort. So I'm not really necessarily sure where he'll be at. I mean, obviously, we need more defensive tackles. I think we do have some good defensive tackles, but obviously, we need to find some more meat in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for depth. For depth, 100%, right? And, there's another guy, Jasur Taylor from cornerback from Wake Forest. The one thing I kind of like about this guy, he ran a 4.39 40, and he's 5'11", so he's pretty tall for a cornerback. Did some kicking returns,
pretty tall compared to you and me, brother. But
yeah, for sure.
But some of the wide receivers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. These guys are great, right? But again, he had a lot of tackles. He was very productive, did a great job. And again, a big part of Brandon Staley's defense on cornerbacks, and why cornerbacks are a premium, is that you're usually on an island in Brandon Staley's real defense, right? They're there to play man and stop the run if the running back comes to him, or at least slow the guy down, right? So if you're not tackling well, it doesn't really work out well for our cornerbacks, right? So they want a bigger guy. So I kind of like this guy a little more than some of the other ones we've talked about earlier today, just because of his frame, and he was pretty prolific. I mean, he has 6 picks and, a sack, forced fumble, and a few other little things, right? But, he went to a bigger school too, which I think is cool too. So I don't know. I mean, I think he could be a good guy. He'll probably be, maybe a day 3 pick as well too. Again, more depth. And again, right, it's all about the system they go into. Are they really the guy that Brandon Staley wants? Because he has a lot of assignments each cornerback has to do. Well, if this happens, you got to do this. If this happens, you got to do this. If this happens, you got to do this. So, again, do these guys have that situational awareness? And I think it's a big part of, partially even why I think some of the Chargers have been writing that, they're not really high on Michael Davis anymore. So, who knows, right? That's partially why I think the cornerback conversation is heating up with the Chargers. So we'll see how it plays out in the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Yeah, and the thing that's great about him, too, he did play a lot of games in college career, too. So he's got a lot of experience under his belt. I'm a big fan of that. Like, it's like with Justin Herbert playing all 4 seasons at Oregon and playing 4 full seasons. That, to me, a guy that comes out in 3 seasons might not be as prepared as a 4th season guy. And Herbert could have came out in his 3rd season and been a first-round pick and a high first-round pick, probably been the first-round pick, but didn't do that. He wanted to basically play for another year, so he got an extra year of experience. So big fan of guys that have a lot of experience in college and stick through it. So
agreed.
Could be a good depth pick for us. So
100%.
Yeah, then that is always a danger for me too. Like when you see like a kid like as a junior wanting to get into the pros already. I do like to see seniors more than juniors, from the draft or whatever, because there's a little bit more maturity. The juniors just probably I feel like they want to get.
They're there for the money.
Yeah, they want to get paid already. Like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, there are some players that have done well from junior to draft or whatever. But hey, you know what? That's all good.
Yep.
Right.
So another player that I've noticed was Scott Nelson. He was a safety from out of Wisconsin. Now, I guess we could just call him a defensive back because, obviously the NFL is going to determine where you're going to play in that position.
Exactly right.
But safety is a obviously, if you're playing a safety, you're kind of like an all-around guy. You're like in high school, you were the best player on the dang defense for sure.
Exactly
you're all up and down that field, and you're you're just slaying it, bro. So,
bro.
What is this, dude? Point Break, dude?
Yeah, Point Break.
Hey, dude.
What's up, bro?
Okay. Let's just switch it up again then,
there you go, dude.
There it goes. I like that. Yellow looks good.
Yeah, the yellow is nice, right? But yeah, so he's got some pretty good numbers as well. He came up a couple times, and obviously another big division, the Big Ten. So that's actually really good to see because obviously you get a little bit better players that you're playing against. He did pretty well in 2020. He was ranked number 8th with his interceptions. And he was actually ranked number 7th in that same year with return yards on those interceptions. And he actually got a touchdown, a pick 6 in 2021. And only one of 3 other players that did the same thing. So he's got a lot of potential, he could actually do really well for us. But again, that's just it. Like, I mean, we got Nas, we got freaking Derwin James. I think maybe they might actually end up doing is our Chargers. I think we might actually shift one of our cornerbacks or whatever to a safety as well, to kind of like, shore up that position, because we're definitely heavy with cornerbacks right now, I feel like. So.
Well, we always play cover 2, right? Or 2 high safety. What if we want to go cover 3? Who's the third safety that's going to step in as well, too, right? And what part of the field are they going to cover?
Right.
I would assume Derwin James would probably cover the middle of the field, and the other 2 would cover the other side if we go cover 3. But that's a really interesting conversation. And so, yeah, again, it's depth, right? And that's kind of the whole point, right? I mean, how many of these guys are going to play out? But again, you need talent to be successful. So. Yeah. Yep. And this is a good guy, right? I think big school, he did well, very prolific, Pro day was good. So I mean, he's fast, 4.38. That's pretty dang quick.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good.
He's got speed, man. He's got speed. And I mean, the thing is though, he'd probably go into the position where Nas is at, but then we got Alohi Gilman there too. And so
we got Gilman as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's kind of like, do we have that position? Also, Mark Webb was one of the guys that we drafted couple of years back. Was it last year or the year before? I'm not sure, but when it was.
Exactly correct.
There was kind of a little bit of high talk about him for a while. So the thing is, though, it's kind of, once again, it's about depth in these guys. I mean, most of these picks are just depth dudes. And sometimes they could surprise you. So who knows?
That's right. Hey, well, I was going to say, too, like, going back on that topic, we have I think 6 of our star players are undrafted, players.
Exactly correct.
Yeah. Right.
So I am not opposed to just having undrafted players anyways, So I
think I saw a stat that it was like 30% of players in the NFL are undrafted. So that's like a pretty substantial amount of
it's huge
guys in the league that are undrafted players in the NFL. That's I mean, that's a good chunk. That's a good chunk. So you got a chance. You just got to make a decision, or actually, make the decision that you're going to put in as much effort as you possibly can to take this opportunity by the horns, basically.
I feel you, and that's so true, because once a player gets that opportunity, that's when their motivation just skyrockets. You know what, I'm gonna go out there and I'm just gonna give it all. Because hey, I ain't got nothing else to lose. I
don't know if you guys watched the USFL that happened this weekend.
Yeah, I saw a few games.
No, I have not. No.
So, and I can't remember the player. I can't remember what team it was and what player it was, but the guy apparently got kicked off the team because when he was in line to get food, like their lunches or whatever, they were giving out chicken salad sandwiches, and he's like, "Oh man, I wanted pizza. You guys got any pizza?" And he got kicked off the team because of that. I mean, see, that's hilarious. The thing. Like,
oh, jeez.
Yo, you don't like chicken salad sandwiches, but you got an opportunity here. Don't be trying to make that demands of asking for pizza and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh,
dude, take the opportunity and run with it, man.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Eat your chicken salad sandwich and keep playing, dude. Come on,
relax, just relax.
Yeah, right. Oh, you want pizza? Well, guess what? Now your bank account's gonna hurt because you just got kicked off the team.
You unemployed, suck it, get lost. No, but it does
Billy Madison reference point, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of ways to get back to the NFL now. I mean, Storm Norton's a great example. He went to the XFL, right? Yep. So he was XFL. I mean, he's a tall guy, and he did the most with what he did. I mean, what he's got, right? And so, he will be on the field next year, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens with that. But
Parham was the same situation too. XFL also.
XFL. Yep. Exactly.
Crazy.
There's an interesting guy. J. Trey Carter, offensive lineman from Southern University. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wonder. He'll probably be more like a third-day pick, a day 3 pick. I mean, you never know, though, right? But he was really good from the Senior Bowl. He's a little slower. Obviously, he's a lineman, right? Butt and gut, all the above, right? But he's another guy that we could bring in, right? Yeah. I guess. He's graded one of the best pass blockers in D1, right? And again, that's what we need, right? We need a pass blocker, right? And so even if it's make no mistake about it, right? If we remember the statistics from last year, right? You ran on the left side, we got what, 6 yards of carry. We ran on the right side. Guess what? We only got 3 yards of carry.
Yep.
So they need to even that out a little more and make it less predictable, because it was very clear we ran to the left more often. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's really important to make the line a little bit more, even keeled. So, that could be a good option, right? That's obviously pass blocking, but, I think he can definitely improve his, his run, blocking as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he was a standout from the Senior Bowl, solid numbers from the combine. I mean, obviously you're not going to find the fastest dude on O-line, but all around had pretty good numbers. I mean, and even a lot of the scouts basically pulled a double duty on him after his LSU pro day too. So they were kind of stunned to see what he was doing. So this guy might actually end up being one of those late round gems that just ends up having a stellar career. Absolutely. Who knows? I mean, these are the guys that fall through the cracks from small schools. Yep. One thing to remember too. Remember when Keenan Allen got drafted? He was a 3rd round draft pick. He was going to be a very high 1st round draft pick. Yep. But remember his injuries? He did not do the combine. He didn't do anything. He slipped way down the list. Right. Yep. Again, there are gems out there, and again, that's where Telesco, I think, is very good. And I also with Brandon Staley, he will be good at picking those gems, saying, no, this guy's good. Here's why. This guy's good. Here's why. Yep. And, this is one of those guys I think could be a good person, right? Went to a good school, 1,200 career snaps. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. He's a workhorse.
That guy has been out there a long time. He's been in the trenches, just shucking and jiving, just uppercut, boom, boom, whatever. Yep. I don't know why I just said that, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey, you know what?
Shucking and jiving. I don't even know what I'm saying.
You know what? 2 to the body, 1 to the head. That's right.
It's not a boxing match, but I don't know why I was saying that. But you got to be rough in this game for sure.
Yeah, that's all you do. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Well, and even to say in the last 2 seasons he didn't allow a sack and had only 4 pressures allowed. I mean, that's killer numbers. Killer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. To have something like that. So, I mean, once again, great as the best pass blocker in D1. I mean, that says a lot. I mean, he did come from a smaller school, but once again, small schools do develop good talent. I mean, as an example, Austin Eckler. I mean, small school. Undrafted. Yep.
Well,
fantastic.
And again, what we're doing though is we're splitting hairs, right? Like when you talk about a rank, okay, this guy's maybe faster than this guy, so he's up 10 more ranks than this other guy. This guy's a little bit better hands than this guy, so he moves up over this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we're truly splitting hairs at this point, right? And so all of these guys are the best at their school. All of these guys have been the best from high school, moving on up, high picks, high recruits. So it's again, I think sometimes it boils down to character and culture. It's one thing Brandon said I did talk about a lot last year. Yeah. They built a team. Now they need to build a championship. And I think they have most of the talent, but I think now they just need they need the depth. That's what they need. Because injuries do happen, right? They just happen. So you need people to step in and next man up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be interesting to see that all comes around. I mean, we need the depth, and they're just building more of that depth because injuries are going to happen. 100% chance it's going to happen everywhere on the team.
Exactly correct.
So,
we were lucky last year. We didn't get injured too often last year. We did fairly well. I was surprised.
And that's one thing I think Brandon Staley really focused on. Even into the preseason, it was like these guys are not going to play one snap during the preseason. And he just listed them all. And I you know what? I appreciate that. And if somebody did get injured during the season, he was very precautious with him.
Joey Bosa did that with one time. Bosa got
Samuel
hit in the head or something.
Right.
And he sat him out the rest of the game.
Concussion protocols. Cool. You got to take that stuff real seriously, man.
Yep, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And so it's a long season, and you want healthy guys at the right time of the season too. So
yes, that's very true.
Playoffs,
babe. Playoffs.
You want to talk about playoffs?
Playoffs. Well, who else we got here, James? I know, or maybe Kyle. Who else we got from our big offensive tackle from UConn?
Yeah. So was it Ryan Van Denmark? So he's another offensive line guy. So I mean, he's a stud, dude. He's a beast. He's like 6'7". 304 pounds. So he might be a little lanky for that size, I guess. And a little bit. I don't know how big you actually should be at 6'7", because clearly I am not that, at all.
Yeah, that's a behemoth of a man, by the way.
Yeah,
that is gigantic.
That's a huge.
Like you'd be playing basketball. Yeah.
No doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal over here.
Oh yeah, totally, totally.
For real.
The biggest thing, he's got an 85-inch wingspan, bro. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
dude,
big.
that's a man. He's got some long arms, dude. Holy moly! Yeah, like he's gonna be able to open up the door from where I'm sitting right now. Dang. That's what's up right there, dude. Like, yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. There's a lot of things you could say about this guy. You know, like, I mean, he obviously he didn't get to go to the Senior Bowl or the Combine, so he's probably not getting a whole lot of press coverage or anything like that. You know, but obviously, you know, people are looking at him. And we met with him. So, I mean, hey, you know, like he's definitely going to be like maybe a third or fourth. I don't know, maybe not third or fourth. I'm saying fifth or sixth round pickup or whatever that. But he's got a lot of potential, and he could play left or right. And you know, like, and he's got. I don't know. He kind of reminds us of Storm Norton, I would say. And his potential or whatever like that, but hopefully since he's younger and like he can be developed a little bit more earlier on. Well, let's see what he can do, you know.
Yeah, and it's interesting thing because when I was looking at his upper frame, I felt like it kind of reminded me of Storm Norton, kind of a smaller frame up top with just a longer body, and you know, at the same side, being an offensive tackle, it's about footwork and awareness of what the DN or nose tackle or whomever's coming in on you, and understand and read their defense and what they're trying to shift on. And so as long as you got good footwork, you could move with those big long arms and know where each player's at that you're trying to block and such. I mean, that's really what you need. And I felt like with Storm Norton, he was just gassed a lot of the time. I mean, I think he just wasn't athletically there yet. So, but with Ryan Van Denmark, I mean, his RAS score, his relative athletic score, was placed at 9.45. which is 68 out of 1,216 offensive tackles since 1987. So, I mean, he had some good numbers. Yeah, he had very, very good numbers. So, I don't know. You know, they have him placed him as the number 7 offensive tackle in this class. So, who knows, man? This guy could show out. And UConn's gotten some guys since, like, Travis Jones has been one of the guys that's coming out of there at defensive tackle, which the Chargers have not met with, or at least we have not seen. So, UConn has been developing some talent out of there of recent. So who knows? Yeah,
he was also the team captain. Really good character guy, right? Which is good, right? You need locker room guys, right? You need guys that are going to be, you know, again, he's almost one of those guys that, like, you get him at late rounds, you know, you get him maybe 5th or 6th round, you bring him in and you got a year or two behind him. You know, he could step up and be the guy, you know, maybe, you know, after a year or two, or, you know, he might play a couple of games, you know, this season if we have an injury or two. Right. So, you know, again, I think a very good depth pick on the line for sure. So that would be good.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I like about it too is just adding more competition in between the teams. I mean, right now, like thinking, what if he outplays Storm Norton? What if he outplays, I mean, Rashawn Slater's, that's not going to happen, but you know, who knows? Like, I like to be able to see guys that could come in that are coming with great stats, that have had some good success of where they're at in college, that could just outplay somebody else. So who knows?
Well, not only that would also elevate the other person's game up as well too.
Exactly.
You know, what if they were to put Hymas in, you know, on the right side next to Storm Norton? You know, let's hypothetically, we don't sign Obuchi again. You know, this guy could step in and be kind of a day one starter as well too. But you know, you never know. I mean, he's going to make Hymas better, and that's a good thing. So, you know, especially with the offensive line, I think rarely, in my opinion, do you get a day one starter in the draft, right? I mean, there's just a few that are always a day one starter. The rest are kind of like, they kind of are down. They're a little more developmental and they're there for depth. And then they kind of eventually move up and go from there. So at least that's what I've seen for the most part. I mean, we really got lucky with Rashawn Slater last year. I mean, that guy was an absolute stud, an absolute steal. Absolutely. I mean, just ridiculous. So we can't expect that to happen again, you know?
Well, last time we had pick 17, we got Derwin James. It worked out pretty well. So
yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
Who knows? So who knows?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well,
so want to give us the last one?
Yep. Last one we got here is Tito. Oh boy, we're gonna. Tito. Oh,
Agabonya?
Yeah.
Agabonya?
I'm glad I didn't try and say his name. I would have butchered that one, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no right.
Ooga booga? I don't know.
Man,
Ooga booga.
man.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Oh, Bania.
Well, he's not coming on our podcast ever now. Yeah, you gotta say his name right, dude. You gotta say his name right.
Okay, wait. Actually, I'm gonna take back
Who
at.
can say this guy's name right? Dude, come on.
I think it's Otito
Otito
Ogbania.
Abanya, yeah. Let's go.
Otito Ogbania.
Let's go with,
Okay. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Otito. I like that. Okay, that makes sense.
so he's another local product, defense tackle from UCLA.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Once again, interesting thing, and to me, the defensive tackle position needs to be, once again, we talk about a butt and gut all the time, and this guy's a 6'4", 324-pound guy. I mean, that's a lot of meat right there. You know, the cool thing, and I was watching some of his videos about him. He really does a good job of eluding blockers in the A gap, but doesn't really have the best like pass rushing ability. So after that, he kind of doesn't really understand what to do from that point, because he's kind of a bigger dude too on top of that. But his biggest strength is a bull rush for him. So if he could really just push the guy in front of him and just force him to kind of start creating chaos, because you think Khalil Mack, you think Joey Bosa, you think Sebastian Joseph Day in the middle. You think of like, if one guy could just push the line back as much as you can, what that does is create chaos in the whole line. So
exactly correct.
If this guy could go in there and just bull rush the dude in front of him, force the line off its line, basically, it's going to be chaos at that point. So could it be a good guy? He's a one-dimensional guy, potentially. I don't know. When is he going to get drafted? Some people are saying maybe 4th round pick kind of thing. So who knows? Once again, that's just another guy that they've been looking at, local talent again. Who knows where we're going to go with him? But
yeah, and it's really interesting is when you look at Brandon Staley's defense, the whole point of the defensive tackles is just like you discussed there, James, is to create chaos.
Yep.
You know, you want a guy that's, again, I know I've said this 100 times, and you guys are probably sick and tired of me talking about Jordan Davis. That's why I like about Jordan Davis. He's constantly double teamed. You have to double team the guy. He's so big. Now, that's in college. But he's still so big and so fast, you have to cover the guy, right? You know, and if you're just sealing a gap, you're double covered no matter what, then it's one-on-one for everybody. And Khalil Mack's going to win that. You know, Joey Bosa is going to win that, right? And you got to remember, why was Joey Bosa not as prolific last year? Because he was double teamed every rush.
Yeah,
he was always double teamed and chipped with a tight end half the time, right? So again, you get guys that create chaos. It just makes it completely different. And then honestly, I'm so excited for this next year. I mean, again, maybe to wrap up a little bit, at least some of my general thoughts here is that, look, this is all depth. These are all work in progress. These are guys that could come up and just be absolutely amazing. But for the most part, there's one or two little bits and pieces that you know, they need NFL coaches to elevate their game and get them a little bit more NFL ready. Again, they all have the talent. They all have the success. They've all done very well. But again, people have said this 100 times over, that college level to the pros is a huge jump. Huge jump. Yeah. So, you know, getting them there sometimes takes time, right? You know, so anyways, that's kind of my last, you know, general thoughts.
Yep, that's absolutely. And just to even break down, you know, Jordan Davis just a little further, I heard somebody talking about Albert Haynesworth, how he's kind of similar as a player. Big, huge guy that could just fill up the middle, and it really demands attention. And Albert Haynesworth, when he was with the Titans, was an absolute nasty dude. Now his length of his career wasn't the greatest, but at the same side, you know, he was just kind of a nasty dude that just ended up getting in a lot of trouble, kind of thing. So. But
yeah, exactly correct.
You want those guys in the middle to create chaos, and that's what creates a better defense all around. So who knows? Oh, yeah. And you know, Jordan Davis could be that guy that could really just put this defensive line to a whole new level. So, but any last thoughts, Kyle, at all?
Yeah, man. You know, I was just thinking. Bolt up, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, these players might be shining. We need them shades, dude.
That's right, dude.
So bright.
Yep, exactly right.
Some of these, our future's looking so bright. Future's looking bright. We're about to take this league by storm. You know, and
AFC best, baby. Go to the Chargers.
AFC best. You got to beat the best to be the best. You know what I'm saying? So, But yeah, like I mean, all these players actually, they do have some pretty good prospects for us.
Yeah.
You know, like I would not be, you know, like sad that we got any of these guys. I think they're all good, and the big thing for me too is like when it comes to going from college to the pros, just like you were saying, is that like as long as they're teachable, we can make magic happen with them. You know,
for sure.
You know, because like obviously like because that's the biggest thing. Like we've had a lot of duds in the NFL history. You know, like you look at Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, a couple other players. You know, like who just like basically like, get in there. They think they're hot shit. You know, like they start like getting all that money, and then like and then all of a sudden they just kind of just completely land on their face, and because you know what, they can't handle it. You know, and that's just it. Like I mean, I saw an interview with actually Devontae Wyatt. Where he was talking about how like amazing it was to play with so many great defensive players at Georgia, and it helped him to motivate him to actually be better than what he already was.
Sure.
And so that's just the hope that when these players get into the pros, and now they're playing with like Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Sebastian Joseph Day, Derwin James, J.C. Jackson. Dude, I hope that gives them like the motivation and like sees them and their work ethic to like just elevate them even higher than what they thought they were.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. I said that before, but it makes sense, man. You make your players better with the talent around you. If you have a crappy team, sometimes talent doesn't get developed in the right way. So.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to remind you guys too. Once again, we talked about it early on. We're going to do our live broadcast of the first round on the 28th. Also, check us out on our socials: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're going to be doing kind of small videos about potential first round picks. So check it all out. So been good to kind of see this happening. We got only a few days till basically the draft, so I'm excited about it. I know us bros are ready for it, so we're excited to see where it leads with us and what next talent we get to our team to get to the Super Bowl, baby.
That's right.
But
we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it.
We gotta win it, baby.
That's right.
Once again, my name's James. I'm here with Kyle and Andy, my bros. Thanks for listening, guys. Like, share, comment on our videos. Let's get out of here. Bolt Bros, we out.
Bolt Bros.
Let's get out of here.
Boom.
You know what? And if we get like a 1,000 likes on this, I'll send some out to some people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got you.
I got plenty, yo. I got plenty.
We got a giveaway going now.